This is Isaac Newton, and he made 3 laws of motion. But what are they? Well, that's why you are going to learn about them. Each of Newton's laws will have 2 examples each. To start off, we will be covering the first law. This law states that an object in motion will stay in motion unless acting upon an unbalanced force. If an object is at rest, the object will stay at rest until acted upon an outer force. An example of the first law is bowling. My reasoning? Well, in bowling, the ball never comes to a stop. Take this video as an example.
What you got? There you go. Smiling while you're bowling. Watch the ball. Watch the ball.
You should have noticed that the bowling ball never slows down, even with this high amount of weight. But why? Well, that's because there are no forces acting upon it, not even friction. Since there are no forces acting upon the ball, that means the ball moves at a constant rate. For my second example, we'll be using cars. My reasoning? Well, in a car, every time you turn or hit a speed bump, your body will get flung in that direction. Here's an image to exemplify one of those actions. In the image on the left, you can see that the man is in motion with the car. With the image on the right, the man is assumed to hit the brakes, causing him to get launched forward. But why does this happen? That's because since you're traveling the same speed as the car, coming to a stop will launch you forward because your body wants to stay in motion. This can be very fatal if you don't have your seatbelts on. For our next law, we'll be covering the second law. This law states that force is dependent on mass and acceleration, but we could just shorten that to F equals ma. The example I chose is how kicking a soccer ball is way easier than kicking a bowling ball. Why? Well, that's because if you kick a soccer ball really hard, it'll get propelled forwards by a lot. But if you kick the bowling ball with the same amount of force, it'll most likely break your foot, but most importantly, it'll get propelled way less. This is because of mass. Since the soccer ball has way less mass, it'll be easier to kick than the bowling ball, which has much more mass. My second example, we'll be using swinging, specifically the pushing. I use this example because if you want someone to speed up on the swings, you have to push harder. The amount of acceleration depends on the force and mass here. You are used to pushing kids, but what if you push an adult? I'll give you time to think on what will happen. If you said the adult would accelerate less, or on something on the lines of that, you're correct. The acceleration decreases because adults have much more mass than kids. The last law is the third law. This law states that for every action, there is an opposite or equal reaction. An example of this is a cup sitting on top of a table. If you ever wondered why your hands and cups don't fall through the tables, well, that's because the table is pushing the object back up, causing the object to not face right through the table. For my second example, I used a ball bouncing off a wall. I use this example because it demonstrates opposite reaction. But how? Well, if the ball doesn't get wedged in the wall, it'll bounce back to you, which is the opposite way you threw the ball.